What is up, guys? Welcome back. This is an episode of Tips and Tricks. We are bringing it back for our season 4 of Shred the Gnar this year. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit about basically how our season went last year, what we're looking forward to this year the most, and just overall kind of what we got going on. Of course, I'm Lou with Shred the Gnar. We got Dom and we got Derek, also known as Toad. So for starters, let's just get into a little bit about how our 2024-2025 season went, where we went, and overall just how that experience was. So, I mean, Kurtz, you had one hell of a year. If you want to touch on that, and then we'll kind of just keep branching from there.
Yeah, I think one hell of a year is a severe understatement. Obviously, if you haven't seen the video yet, I'm sure Louis will put it somewhere, or you've already seen it in circulation on the interweb. But aside from me taking my tumble, I think my year was a really good one. Always looking to build, always looking to have more fun and create, obviously, more memories. So I think it was a very good year.
I agree with that. Dom, I know this past year you finished up the Fire Academy. You had a very busy year with that, so you did not get to ski as much as you have in the past. But this year is looking like it's going to be a little bit different. How was your year last year, and leading into this year, what are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, last year was pretty good in the sense that I did get to go out eventually. I finished up the Fire Academy around like end of December, middle of January, right around there. So it wasn't until like middle of January where I actually got out and, had some good hunter days, had a couple Mount Snow days. Did we hit Okemo too?
We did not hit Okemo last season.
So it was just Mount Snow. But I had the coldest night's sleep I've ever had with this one over here. It was fun because I was not informed that it was going to be, well, I knew it was going to be 10 degrees outside, but I didn't know it was going to be 10 degrees inside. So that was a fun one to wake up to. But yeah, overall, it was a good season. Still rocking the same pair of skis. I got a pair of powder skis this year or last year, which I didn't get to use. So I'm going to be looking forward to using them this year and see where the trips take us. So let's get into it.
Yeah, so Dom touched on, we got up to Vermont, so we hit Mount Snow a good amount this past season. Of course, we had a bunch of hunter days. The boys, we headed out to Lake Tahoe, which was a lot of fun, and I got to go out to Colorado and ski 5 mountains in 6 days, which was a ton of fun. So let's touch a little bit about our Tahoe trip as a whole. I know, Dom, you were not able to make it this year, or make it last year, but this year you'll be there. Mm-hmm. And so, Kurtz, I mean, hey, if you want to talk a little bit about Tahoe as a whole real quick, let's touch on that.
Well, I think for starters, our trip to Lake Tahoe was by far probably the most beautiful trip we've been on. I think just the scenery itself. One thing I will say about Lake Tahoe as a trip, still had a lot of fun, still made a lot of memories, but the snow quality was probably the least, probably the worst we've experienced as a group, I would say. I mean, we got no snow from the entire time we were there. And it, funny enough, it snowed right after we had left. So we were caught right in the middle of their no snow period. So I think that was kind of a letdown. But I mean, obviously, you're still with your best buddies, and the trip itself was just a blast. So,
over the past few years, we hit Colorado a couple of years back. Then we hit Utah, and then this past year we went to Tahoe, and this year we're heading up to Canada.
Utah had the best snow so far, definitely.
I
would say.
Yeah, it definitely did. And we kind of got a little spoiled with fantastic snow conditions. And then we headed out to Tahoe, and they're hit or miss. They're either absolute, you get that Pacific Ocean snow that's coming through, and it absolutely dumps, or you get the Sierra Cement. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble, but when it's good, it's great. When it's not as good, it's pretty poor.
It's hella fun, though.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we had this year, but overall, it was a lot of fun. Also touching on improvement for this year, I feel like everyone as a whole within the group, whether it was just basic hunter days or when we did go out west or those Vermont days, I feel like everyone really had extreme improvement. I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about what you saw the most with the group for the days you were out with us, what you saw from Mary, what you saw from Old Lady,
Yeah. So, I mean, we had a couple of fresh skiers out this past year, and going from Mary, who has only had a couple of days previously on skis, to where she's at now, able to cruise down, anywhere on the East Coast, going to the oldest member for the Gnar, Old Lady, still keeping with it, keeping everything fresh, and able to provide a lot of good tips and tricks for any of the other newer beginner members of Shred the Gnar. But I feel like just generally, we all gained a tremendous amount of real skiing experience in the year. Just learning new tricks, brushing up on skills and stuff, learning how to deal with powder situations and anything else the ice coast can give us. So yeah, we're looking pretty good.
That's another thing, like Dom mentions. We're Ski the East. SHREDTHEGNAR is based out of Jersey, where we primarily ski for our day trips, Hunter, and then we're also shooting up to Vermont, whether it's Stowe, Okemo, or Mount Snow. We're all staying within that Epic and Vail location because, of course, we rip Epic passes because Icon. Not as good. Not as good for the East Coast. Out West.
West Coast, yeah.
They're phenomenal.
East Coast, awesome.
But there's a little more limited options. Like you get Killington, you get Wyndham, but it's a little more restricted. And just by being out on the East Coast and dealing with icy conditions, more variables with snow, it shapes us all into better skiers. So when we do go out to Utah or we go out to Colorado or wherever else we're venturing to as the group, you're ready to ski their hardest terrain because we're also 90% of the time in powder, even if it's 2, 3, 4 inches. To the locals out there, that might not be a big storm, but for us, that's enough powder to start really trying.
That's huge.
To get to that next level of our skiing ability, which overall I think is great for us as a group, just based on the conditions we see on a day-to-day for those local day trips or 2-day trips, whatever it is.
Well, Luke, speaking of skiing ability, what improvement skills do you want to advance on this year? What's on your checklist?
So for this year, I mean, every year I say I have a boatload of stuff I want to improve on. I feel like last year for me was a great season. It was very much, I feel like, a breakout year for me, as well as everyone else. We all had great improvement. But just being able to ski the quantity of days that I did get on snow, that all helped a lot. Really, ideally, biggest thing I want for this year, I want to be able to just ski without feet pain. Last year I had a lot of pain in both my heels. They're called Hagelin deformities, and insane pressure from the back of the boot made it extremely hard to ski, walk, even just do the basics of ripping down a green or blue wherever I was. So to be able to ski with that this year, I got a new boot, a little larger, so I'm going to custom mold that this week, get that set up. But really, just being able to ski without pain is something I'm really looking forward to this year. And then, of course, just getting better with big terrain, getting better with find some cliffs that are more than 6 or 7 feet this year, maybe send a 10-footer, 15-footer, whatever's there. I mean, we're heading out to Whistler in January, so I'm looking forward to that. So I just want to sharpen up the skills before we go. And once we get there, hit the ground run. First day, first 2 days, we got some good snow. Let's send some tricks.
Yeah.
How about you? What are you looking forward to this year?
Biggest thing for me is to obviously I want to build my stamina. I feel like a lot of the times where I'm usually the last one, I'm sort of like the caboose of the group when we're all kind of skiing down a mountain. I want to work on my speed. I want to work on my stamina. I want to be able to keep up a little bit better. Not saying that I can't, but it could always be better. I want to get my feet underneath me in a much quicker manner. And honestly, just get out of my head, because last year the fall kind of did me wrong mentally. Rightfully so. If you experienced it like I did, it was terrible. But just get out of my own head. Just go on the path forward.
I like that. I agree with everything you're saying there. How about you? What improvements are we looking for in this season?
We're always trying to get better at something. So I feel like this year is going to be the year of the backflip. So we are going to rock it. Yeah, we are going to rock it this year. I'm not unreasonable though. So if it's a shitty day, I'm not doing that.
Hey, we got through the snow out in Whistler. We find a nice little stash somewhere that's been packing up for a couple of days. Nice little lips. They got a lot of good side hits out there.
We could take it. We could send it.
We'll see. We'll see what's out there.
Got to be fresh though. It's got to be fresh just in case. So
for sure. But overall this year, we have a lot of improvement that we all want to work on. I feel like everyone throughout the group, whether it's Drew, Will, Budine, anyone that's coming, that's skiing with us this season.
Don't forget Old Lady.
And of course, Old Lady. Everyone, every year we all have a lot that we want to improve on. And this year is definitely going to be a year that we really start to push and we really start to bring our skiing to the next level, bring the videos to the next level, and bring you guys all along for the journey. Last season was absolutely great. And this season, I think, is just going to get better. We ended this year with about 15 videos, 16 videos. Next year, let's push for that 20 mark. Let's push for it. And I think it's definitely achievable. And with you guys supporting, you guys being along for the ride, showing that you like the videos, showing that you guys care, that's what's going to get us there. So stay tuned for more. We have a ton coming for this season. And even this preseason, stay tuned for these videos. We're going to be giving a little more tips and tricks throughout the next few weeks, leading up to the actual season coming around. And who knows, maybe we'll be starting up a podcast, maybe we'll be starting up some merch, maybe we'll start some other stuff that's going to bring more of our personalities to you guys, because let's face it, we have a great group of guys that have a ton of fun. And if we can show you guys how much fun we're having, and we can meet you guys out on the slopes, or we could do meetups like that or whatever it is, we want everyone along for the ride. So stay tuned. Like I said, last year was a hell of a year. this year. So much more to come. So appreciate you guys tuning in for the first episode of Tips and Tricks within Shred the Gnar for this season, and more to come.
Back at it.